Just 3 rounds remaining. A state of confusion has descended on the NRL as fans demand answers over rules and interpretations that are deciding games and potentially a team's whole season. Now, Gordy, we've seen this over the past few weeks. Obstructions, the blockers, high shots. It's just really taking over the game at the moment. Everyone's talking about it, and there's been some big calls that have been made and overlooked. Yeah, well, especially the Newcastle Cronulla game, the blockers. I thought that, I think this rule got brought in because they were blocking the markers and they were blocking a direct line. No one here from the Sharks got blocked at all. I think William Kennedy, for one, he's offside, but no one got blocked running to get it. And the markers are the closest. So I'm confused about there. And then you go down the other end and Kalen Ponga just runs straight in to the Sharks play, and that's what's going to start. One thing we noticed last night, we just saw it as we were watching the footage, but Kalen actually misses this. Yeah. And Graham Annesley didn't bring it up in his press conference, and it was overlooked quite a bit. Why didn't Annesley mention it in his press conference?
Guys, I find this, unbelievable. Given the amount of information that we receive from the match officials during game, we were able to hear the video referee bunker. How the match officials at any point in this, because Kalen goes on to captain's challenge this, how at no point did they indicate that there was no field goal. And I firmly believe several Knights players were of the opinion it went through, hence the captain's challenge anyway. Yeah. I can't believe it.
We'll delve more into that soon, Crawls, but this whole state of confusion at the moment, even the late shots, right? There's a few late shots on the weekend. That first try in the Melbourne-Penrith game, we didn't talk about that last night, and that was pivotal in the end, and that was just an obstruction. It is a bit of a mess, isn't it, heading into the finals?
Here's the problem. There's coaches. You've got Craig Fitzgibbon, you've got Adam O'Brien, other coaches over the weekend. You've got captains, you've got commentators, you've got fans, you've got Rugby League Hall of Fame halfback who doesn't know what an obstruction is anymore, or not according to the bunker. Like, it's across the board, guys. And you can't bury your head in the sand and pretend it's not a problem like the NRL is doing, with Graham Annesley on the weekend or on Monday talking about the blockers as if he's right and everyone else is wrong. Everyone else you talk to, we're talking to guys of your experience, of Greg Alexander, of Cooper Cronk. So many people across the game, they're just lost. They're lost with what the rules are. And, we're 24 rounds into the season. Well,
one thing is why William Kennedy wasn't checked, and the bunker can't look at that. And then in this game, when Pappenhausen goes for the quick 40-20...
Yes.
And there's a player offside that takes no part in the game.
That's true.
Not one part in the game where Kennedy has an effect on the kick.
Gordy.
So he's got no part in that game. He's on the opposite side of the field, but they go back and check that.
Well, the problem is, again, every single time a kick goes up, and if it's in a try-scoring situation, nearly the first thing the bunker says is chase is cleared. They can tell if a player's offside. Yet, in the instance of William Kennedy on the weekend, the bunker's not allowed to rule on like that. It makes no sense at all why they can call offside from a kick, but not offside from a team running up. It's just crazy.
It's highly concerning, guys, from a fan's point of view, because of where we are at this point in the season. Now, this almost feels like a crackdown as far as the blockers are concerned. Certainly, you think about, to Crawls's point, the amount of confusion and complete no understanding whatsoever on the actual ruling. Me personally, I went and listened to both commentary from both broadcasters of this match just to determine whether it was across the board. We're talking about 30-game test players, expert commentators not knowing if this is a crackdown, what the rule is. And from a fan's point of view, it's nerve-wracking going into this point of the year.
And then my concern is there will never be a field goal kicked again because someone's always going to be in front of the bloke kicking it because he wants to get space. So, Braith, a couple of your field goals where you think, God, we're up 16-10, let's take a quick shot just before half-time, there's going to be someone in front of you.
You don't always set up for a field goal. Sometimes it can be a game where you kind of think, OK, where are we going to get to on the field? Should we have a shot at scoring a try first? And then you look at the scoreboard, you're up by 6, there's maybe 8 minutes to go. You know, you're at that point where it's not a necessity to go for it, but you could kick it, and they've still got. So there's a lot of things going through a half's mind throughout a game. But now a halfback really can't just do that, or a 5'8" just can't take a shot.
I cannot find. I'm lost. I'm absolutely lost to see how that's a penalty there.
But it's only because of the other one.
It's a square up.
It's a square up, which is not what we want in our game. The first one should not have been a penalty. I think it's one of the worst calls of the year, if not the worst call, the Kalen one, even though he ended up missing it.
But Annesley has backed that
He's
brace.
back.
So that's the new line in the sand going forward.
I can't believe he backed it. Like, if he'd come out and said we got it wrong, we wouldn't be in this mess right now because, OK, we know what the rules are moving forward. We got that wrong. The only time that it is a penalty is if those players are blocking or impeding the opposition. That's it, simple as that.
And we all know what impeding a player looks like.
Absolutely.
It's as clear as day when that's a fair enough penalty. He was in the way. Certainly we've seen it at the play of the ball where a forward stands right next to that play of the ball and obstructs the defending team from running through to put pressure on the kicker. We've seen it all.
And the wording is they denied them the opportunity. And we look at it, we go, fair, unfair, what do you have got there? And we live with
the Kalen Ponga one, where the next one, Ponga's run straight there and milked the penalty, and that becomes the norm going forward. And as Greg Alexander was out the back and we're having a chat about this before the show, and he said he made a really valid point. The game is about deception. And if you have to have blokes in front who, like Brace said, could be getting the ball, and you can change your mind at the last minute. Now, do you just have to go for the field goal?
Well, you know the field goal's coming because there'll be one bloke standing there. There'll be dead set of half stand there going like this. There'll be no one in front of him.
Yeah.
And you'll have the whole team running it at the poor bloke. So it's crazy. You know what? We're changing the fabric of our game. And for what?
Yeah.
You had
For
the
what
late
reason?
shots on the weekend, mate. You've got James Fisher-Harris penalised for a split second. For a split second. If you watch that at normal speed, it's not late.
Well, let's have a look at them. So this is from the weekend. That's barely late, if late at all. That's just not a penalty. Thoughts on this?
Decides the game.
Yeah.
Decides the game.
Yeah. Even
this is worse in my books.
Yeah.
'Cause that's front rower, as they said in the commentary. That's front rower and front rower. And again, Kafusi has got him at almost the perfect time.
Yep.
In years gone
Great
by,
timing.
in decades gone by, we used to celebrate the great tacklers of the game. The Trevor Gilmeisters, the Cement Gillespies, Terry Randall. Go back as far as you want. But now this bloke, Felice Kafusi, is becoming the victim.
Yeah.
Because he's too bloody tough.
Look, I reckon about 5 years ago, the playmakers were getting targeted and they weren't protected when they were kicking and that. And I reckon
Needed to change, Gordon.
And I reckon it needed to change.
Brandon.
Now the scale is so heavy on the halves, getting protected.
Yeah.
The big guys aren't getting a fair
You may as
shot
well
now.
send them out wearing a bib.
They've gone too far.
What? So send them out wearing the protection bib. You're not allowed to tackle it. That's what it's becoming.
The farce of all this is late in that Sharks game, Sione Katoa makes a break in Golden Point, gets collected high, no penalty. He's currently sidelined now through a HIA. Gone. Can't play this weekend. Got hit high, no penalty.
Yeah.
Try and understand it.
Well, the week earlier, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck get penalised, and that's the difference in that game.
Asafa Solomoni gets sent off, and then Mitch, the shot on Kenny, I think, the Mitch Kenny hit. He doesn't get 10 in the bin.
But going back to the original topic, that's why there is this confusion, because it's happening too frequently. We all understand that the referees in the heat of battle will make mistakes.
Have any of you guys ever spoke to the
I think the
referees?
worst
Are they
part
getting too many
is
voices?
that the bunkerov's making too many mistakes. There's too many things that are just confusing, not only the fans, but the coaches, the captain, the commentators, everyone.
I get the sense the blocker could head down the path of the disruptor, guys.
Yeah, I reckon.
Where's the disruptor? It's gone.
It's gone too.
Hopefully the blocker's gone too.
Yeah, the concern too is heading into finals that this could turn out not good for a team in the final series. Now, it was unclear if Adam O'Brien was aware Kalen Ponga missed the field goal, as the coach claimed the Knights deserved a penalty for Will Kennedy being offside.
I thought the case was closed when he acknowledged that Kennedy was offside by a step. Referees have a bloody tough job to do, and it's a fast game, and they've got to see a lot. The rules were used to the nth degree in the blockers, but they weren't used to the nth degree in probably the oldest rule in the book about being onside. But I don't blame the referees or the touch judges, as I said. They've got a lot to look at. I blame the system. I think there's technology there that we can use, and it was used on Thursday night in the Storm Penrith game to catch someone that was offside at a tap, but we can't use it, and Kalen asked for it to be checked, the onside, in a golden point situation. So that's a flawed system that needs probably looking at.
Okay, before we move on from this incident and this game, we've got to look at why we can't rule on him being offside. Like,
It's argued that the camera positioning at stadiums is in the centre of the football field, and therefore it can't be, the camera angle can't carry a line across 100 metres of the football field, right? Gordy, that's the argument.
Yeah, I know, but that's common sense rule.
Yep.
That there doesn't pass.
100%
That there doesn't pass the pub test. I can get on forward passes that it's really hard to rule because the camera's not beside it. But looking at it there, is he in front of the referee?
Well, you know what?
That's a con job. That's a con job because there is a line every 10 metres on the footy field. And if you can't work out if he's not onside or offside, you're kidding yourself, mate.
Do you know what else there is that crawls? Touch judges.
Yeah, exactly, which we can see of top of
Which
screen.
is, look at the touch judges right there.
Holding the offside.
So they've got to be held accountable as well.
And Adam O'Brien is 100% spot on there. It is a flawed system. Because on the other hand, they are telling us when people are offside off the kicks. They are telling us that Jack Howarth was offside on the Pappenhausen kick. You know, like it happens at the other end of the scale, but they try and con us on, no, we can't do it because of technology.
This was why the technology was invented. This is why we brought the bunker in, to help the human error. This is, you have time. They have time to have a look at this replay through the technology, the millions of dollars worth of investment in the bunker to check this stuff, and it's still going missed.